Chapter 3, page 10. There was a wealthy man in Okonkwo's village who had 3 huge barns, 9 wives, and 30 children. It was for this man, Nwakibi, that Okonkwo worked to earn his first seed yams. Okonkwo took a pot of palm wine and a cock to Nwakibi. 2 elderly neighbors were sent for, and Nwakibi's 2 grown-up sons were also present in his hut. Okonkwo presented a kola nut and an alligator pepper, which were passed around. He broke the nut, saying, "We pray for life, for children, for a good harvest, and for happiness. You will have what is good for you, and I will have what is good for me." After the kola nut had been eaten, Okonkwo brought his palm wine and stood it in the center of the group. "I have brought you this little kola," he said to Nwakibi. "As our people say, a man who pays respect to the great paves the way for his own greatness. I have come to pay you my respects and also to ask a favor. But let us drink the wine first." Everybody thanked Okonkwo. The first cup went to Okonkwo, who must taste his wine first, and the group drank, beginning with the eldest man. Then Nwakibi sent for his wives. Only 4 came in. "Is Anasi not in?" he asked. Anasi was the first wife, and the others could not drink before her. Then Anasi came. She was middle-aged, tall, and strongly built. She looked every inch the ruler of the women in a large and prosperous family. She wore the anklet of her husband's titles, which only the first wife could wear. Anasi accepted the horn from her husband, went down on one knee, drank a little, and handed back the horn. She rose and went back to her hut. The other wives drank the same way and went away. The men continued drinking and talking. They were discussing the palm wine tapper, who suddenly gave up his trade. "Obiako has always been a strange one," said Nwakibi. "I have heard that many years ago, when his father had not been dead very long, he had gone to consult the oracle. The oracle told him, 'Your dead father wants you to sacrifice a goat to him.' And he told the oracle, 'Ask my dead father if he ever had a fowl when he was alive.' And everyone laughed heartily, except Okonkwo, who laughed uneasily. As the saying goes, an old woman is always uneasy when dry bones are mentioned in a proverb. Okonkwo remembered his own father. After the wine had been drunk, Okonkwo laid his difficulties before Nwakibi. "I have come to you for help," he said. "I have cleared a farm, but have no yams. I know what it is to ask a man to trust another with his yams. I am not afraid of work. If you give me some yam seeds, I will not fail you." Nwakibi cleared his throat. "It pleases me to see a young man like you when our youth has gone so soft. Many young men have come to me for yams, but I have refused. But I can trust you. I know it as I look at you. As our fathers said, you can tell a ripe corn by its look. I shall give you twice 400 yams. Go ahead and prepare your farm." Okonkwo thanked him and went home happy. He had not hoped to get more than 400 seeds. He would have to make a bigger farm. Sharecropping was a very slow way of building up a barn of one's own. After all the toil, one only got a third of the harvest. But for Okonkwo, there was no other way. What made it worse was that Okonkwo was also supporting his mother, his sisters, and his father, because his mother could not be expected to eat while her husband starved. His mother and sisters worked hard enough, but they grew women's crops like cocoa yams, beans, and cassava. Yam was a man's crop. So in your graph, look at how Okonkwo is thinking about farming. What is this telling you about Okonkwo, his character? And question 3, Describe the ritual that takes place when Okonkwo goes to visit Nwakobi. How is that similar or different to when we have guests or when we have to ask someone for something?